Good morning. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We begin with the latest from Morocco, where the death toll from that catastrophic earthquake has now jumped to more than 2,800.
A government official says most of the dead were buried under the rubble of collapsed buildings. In some cases, the devastation is so bad, several communities have been wiped off the map, like this village south of Marrakesh, where 90 people were killed in a town with only 100 homes. Rescue operations are taking place around the clock with search teams from Britain, Spain, and Qatar assisting the Moroccan military, but hopes of finding survivors are fading. Still, there have been glimmers of hope. This video shows a rescue yesterday. Survivors were pulled from the rubble 3 days after the earthquake hit. This is we're getting an up-close look at the moment the earthquake hit. NBC News foreign correspondent Raf Sanchez has the latest.
Hey there, we are now in the fourth day of this massive search and rescue operation that is stretching across a disaster zone throughout the high Atlas Mountains. Locals here tell us that in the house behind me, 4 people were killed when that 6.8 magnitude quake struck on Friday night. They are part of a national death toll that is now above 2,800 and climbing. And if you are a member of a family that is missing a loved one, you are praying that there are still more rescues to be done, but time is running out. Every passing hour means that hope is fading. We spoke to an international rescue team earlier who sent their search dogs home because they believe at this point it is unlikely they are going to find anyone else alive. Now, in some of the more remote mountain villages, help has been painfully slow in arriving. We're hearing from people who say that they have been digging with their bare hands through the remains of their homes, trying to find family members with no sign of the government. Soldiers, agents from the Ministry of the Interior are starting to reach some of those harder to reach villages now, but it has been a long time waiting. We met a community who are building tents out of wood, tarp, anything they can find just to put shelter over their children's heads. Meanwhile, there are questions about whether the Moroccan government should be doing more to accept international aid. There is right now a small American survey team on the ground, but there hasn't yet been a deal for a larger deployment of American help. Back to you.
All right, Raf Sanchez, thank you.
Well, an American trapped for more than a week deep inside a cave in Turkey has been rescued. In this incredible video we're going to show you, you can see American researcher Mark Dickey being lifted out of the cave on a stretcher. You may remember he was stuck inside the cave after he suffered gastrointestinal bleeding, so crews had to mount a very complex and delicate rescue operation. The Turkish Caving Federation says Dickey is doing well and being treated at a medical facility.
North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has arrived in Russia for a closely watched meeting with President Putin. Kim crossed over into Russia overnight by train after setting off on Sunday. NBC News foreign correspondent Janice Mackey-Frayer joined us now from the South Korean capital of Seoul. Janice, good morning. So let's talk about the details we've learned about this journey. Do we know who traveled with Kim Jong Un and where and when he's going to meet with Putin?
Well, it was confirmed that Kim Jong Un traveled by armored train that crossed the border into Russia earlier today. There were also reports of a flight that had taken off from Pyongyang and landing in Vladivostok, and it was believed that some of Kim's senior officials were on board to join him for this visit to Russia. Where and when he's going to meet with Vladimir Putin is still not clear. Putin spoke earlier today at an economic forum in Vladivostok. He said that he was planning to go to a nearby high-security facility in the Far East region. When he was asked by Russian media if that's where he was going to meet Kim, he said, "You'll know when I get there." All Russian officials have said so far is that this is a full visit for North Korea to Russia, that they are looking to boost ties with each other, and that the two men will meet, quote, in the coming days.
So, Janice, we understand Russia is looking to beef up its munition stocks. Tell us a little more about what really both sides may look to get out of this meeting.
Well, Joe, they're friends in need. Both are widely regarded as being rogue states. Both present a concern to the United States. Russia is looking for suppliers in order to restock its military supplies. And for North Korea, a weapons deal could be a political and economic lifeline. North Korea has a huge defense industry with very large-scale production capabilities. What they may get in return is to have Russia share satellite and nuclear submarine technology, which, of course, would present concerns to U.S. allies in this region.
And Janice, how is the U.S. reacting to this meeting?
Well, U.S. officials have said that they have intelligence suggesting that weapons talks are at an advanced stage between Russia and North Korea. They have warned North Korea that this would be a huge mistake and that ultimately they would, quote, pay a price. Here's more on what U.S. officials had to say today.
We're going to monitor very closely the outcome of this meeting. I will remind both countries that any transfer of arms from North Korea to Russia would be in violation of multiple United Nations Security Council resolutions. And we, of course, have aggressively enforced our sanctions against entities that fund Russia's war effort, and we will continue to enforce those sanctions and will not hesitate to impose new sanctions if appropriate.
The Pentagon has made a similar assessment in that with so few details, they're going to monitor the situation. But certainly going on the intelligence that the White House has reported on so far, it would suggest that there are strengthening ties between North Korea and Russia and could ultimately see bilateral trade boost in a way that would be uncomfortable to the United States and others.
All right, Janice Mackey-Freyer, keeping an eye on this meeting from Seoul. Thank you so much.
And now to Pennsylvania and some major developments this morning in the manhunt for that escaped prisoner. Police say they are now pursuing the escaped inmate in a specific area after he was spotted once again last night. They are also warning that they believe he is armed with a weapon. MSNBC anchor Lindsay Reiser is following all this for us and joins us now with the latest. Hey, Lindsay, good morning. So, I mean, obviously that's a big headline, especially for people in the area believing that he's armed with a weapon. How do they know that? How do they think they got it? And where do they think he is now?
Yeah, this really marks a heightened phase here in the search, Savannah. Good morning. We're in an area, South Coventry Township, and I can tell you that even just getting to this location here where we have a command post took many roadblocks that we had to go through. And it appears that there is a new perimeter. Now, as far as how big that perimeter is, we don't know, but this is a really dense, heavily wooded area, a lot of cornfields, a lot of cow and horse pastures, a lot of barns and nooks and crannies where Danilo Cavalcante could be. Now, you mentioned he is armed. That is what we're hearing from Pennsylvania State Police. There are reports that he stole a weapon, that there was even a firefight overnight with a resident here. NBC News has not confirmed that. There are also reports that he ditched the clothing that he was last seen in, that yellow or green hoodie that he was seen in those doorbell cameras. We also have not confirmed that, but we do know that there is really a heightened sense of alarm this morning. Schools in the nearby area are closed. Residents, Savannah, are being told to lock their homes and their cars. Do not approach him if they see him, and of course, call 911, Savannah.
And Lindsay, police are, obviously this has been a difficult challenge for them. The suspect slipped through the perimeter over the weekend, which was a surprise to them. They say they have now changed their strategy and how they are trying to track him down. What is it exactly that we're doing? And do we know how it got to this point where they are not even able to kind of keep him contained?
I mean, yesterday they said they were switching to a containment model. And so let's go ahead and listen from state police and hear what we heard yesterday afternoon.
This investigation has taken a change in direction in terms of the allocation of resources and daily focus of investigators. We have moved from a containment model to one which involves utilizing a variety of investigative resources and which has proven successful for us in the past.
So we do have video of an overnight search in East Nantmeal Township, and that was where this dairy truck was found. It had run out of gas. This was a truck that Cavalcante had stolen over the weekend. And so when we asked how we got here, we know that August 31st is when this search happened. He crab walked up the walls of the prison, went through fences, razor wire. He was in that perimeter, Savannah, that you mentioned. That was a botanical garden, an area of around 1,000 acres. That is what he was able to slip through. And then he stole that dairy truck according to police. And he visited the homes of a couple of previous coworkers. That is where we have that doorbell camera video where he's clean shaven. He's in a different outfit, different appearance. And he had interacted with at least one of those residents in his native language of Portuguese, and that person called police. And then, again, they moved to that containment model because they had an idea of where he was, not an exact perimeter, though. It appears this morning, Savannah, though, because of the roadblocks, because of the increased police presence we're seeing in this area where we are, which is about 50 miles away from that East Nantmeal Township, that things may have pivoted, Savannah.
And Lindsay, finally, before I let you go, we do also have this detail that immigration officials have detained the fugitive's sister. What do we know about that? Why is that?
So we know that she's facing deportation. Police say that she was an overstay and is basically facing the same process that anybody else would. Now, there were reports that it wasn't clear whether she had assisted her brother. Yesterday, state police said they don't believe that she did provide assistance, but they also said she's not cooperating with law enforcement, so there wasn't a law enforcement necessity to keep her. Savannah.
All right, Lindsay Reiser, thank you so much.
Lawyers for former President Donald Trump have filed motions to dismiss charges against him in the Georgia election case. The court filings are the first time the former president has formally moved to dismiss charges in the sprawling indictment handed up in Fulton County last month. Trump faces 13 criminal counts in Georgia. He and his 18 co-defendants have all pleaded not guilty.
Well, the FDA has given the green light to updated COVID vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer.
This new round of boosters is meant to protect against the latest Omicron subvariant. This approval comes as the nation is seeing an uptick in COVID cases. Not to mention, we are heading into cold and flu season. NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards joins us now with more on this. So, Erica, let's talk about how well these boosters work. We know they're not magic. They actually had to start working on them earlier this year. So how effective do we think they could be against what we're seeing right now with this rise?
If only they were magic, right? So far, the data show that they work pretty well against these Omicron subvariants that are circulating. Now, as far as the recent uptick in cases, it's important to remember that the vaccines are not designed to prevent you from becoming infected. They're designed to help keep people out of the hospital, to prevent some of those severe complications. And that's why you're likely to see a push toward getting these shots to the elderly and to people with weakened immune systems, those who are most vulnerable. The other issue here is that the vaccines are only going to work if people get them. The last time a booster came out, only 17% of those eligible actually got the shot.
Yeah, I think people start to get confused what the rules are now. Do I get it every year? Do I get it with my flu shot? When is this going to be available, and is there any cost associated with them?
So we'll start with the cost. This is the first time that the federal government is not paying for these shots. Both Pfizer and Moderna have said that the shots are likely to be more than $100 per shot. However, if you have private health insurance, if you have Medicare, those shots will be covered. You won't have any fee. If you don't have health insurance, community health centers will also be handing them out for free. Now, as far as when, today, an advisory committee to the CDC is meeting to determine who should get the shots. After that, the CDC director, Dr. Mandy Cohen, is expected to sign off on those later today. Those shots could start rolling out in the coming days.
So, assuming that's what happens, when should you get the shot? We know, like, conventional wisdom is like the flu shot you should get like, by Halloween, right? Is there any sort of advice or strategy as to when you should try and get this booster?
You've done your homework. That's exactly right. Most doctors do recommend getting both the COVID shot and the flu shot before the end of October. There was one caveat. If you've had COVID recently, the CDC might recommend waiting at least 2 months before you get that booster.
And what about any side effects with this one? Yeah,
they're supposed to mirror previous versions of the COVID shot. You might have a sore arm, fatigue, nausea, headache, even fever in some cases.
I think some people have learned by now whether there's someone who should take the day off the next day because maybe they have more of a reaction to the shot. It seems to be different for everyone, right?
That's right. That's right.
I do think I remember I was a little sick, but not too bad after, you know?
All right. Erica, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now let's get to weather. Parts of the Northeast are recovering this morning after strong storms moved through yesterday. This is what it looked like last night in Leominster, Massachusetts. The heavy rain also washed away some roads and flooded businesses and homes. A similar scene in Rhode Island, too, where cars were submerged in floodwaters from that heavy rainfall.
So let's get more on all this from meteorologist Angie Lassman. Angie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Unfortunately, we've got more rain on the way for that same region. We've seen a lot of it start to taper off early this morning, but we've got another big batch that's working its way to the east thanks to a cold front that is slowly but surely moving across the eastern parts of the country. Right now, that front is draped from basically the Midwest all the way down to the south. We have the range stretching along and ahead of it, and you can see places like Dallas to Memphis, St. Louis, Buffalo going to start seeing some of this rain working in. But let's focus on folks in the Northeast because, yes, we did see see ample amounts of rain, significant rainfall yesterday across parts of this region. And we've got another 2 days where we'll see those rainfall rates pretty impressive and the rainfall potential elevated, at least for your day today and tomorrow. The good news is we're not looking at some really strong storms with this. The low end severe is what we'll have a potential for, but the high amounts of rainfall will be there. This is a look into your Wednesday. You can see that front finally starts to work a little closer to the coast, and then we'll see it push out, and eventually we'll get some nicer conditions on the backside of this. But between now and the middle of the week, tomorrow, we'll see anywhere from maybe 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. But per hour, we could see impressive rainfall rates too. 1 to 2 inches in just an hour could lead to some potential for some flooding concerns. So that's what we'll watch across parts of the Northeast down through the mid-Atlantic for today and into tomorrow. And of course, we're keeping a close eye on Hurricane Lee. Right now, Category 3. It did see a little bit of a bump up in intensity with those winds of 115 miles per hour. It's a slow mover. It's only moving northwest at 7 miles per hour. That northerly turn that everybody has been just waiting for is eventually going to come probably in the next 24 hours. You can see the track takes it just to the west of Bermuda as we get into your early parts of Friday. We will expect this to stay well off the east coast of the United States for the most part. You'll notice that extreme northern portions and eastern portions of New England are still included in that cone as we get down the line. By Sunday, 3 a.m., we're looking at a much weaker system as it works a little farther to the north over the coming days. But that does mean that it starts to expand its wind field. We'll likely see the potential for some gusty winds across parts of New England. We'll also note that that high surf and rip current risk will be something we'll deal with up and down the East Coast for at least the next 7 days. We could see some coastal flooding, maybe some coastal erosion. That'll all be on the table for us here as we get through at least the next week or so. But looking at the more specific rainfall amounts, by the time we get to Saturday into Sunday, you can see portions of Maine could see some heavy rain working in. The chances for that center of the storm working on shore there, of course, still in play, but we're not looking at direct impact south of this. This is going to be something we'll, of course, have to keep an eye on, guys. We've still got plenty of time. Again, the timing for this would be Friday into Saturday, so something to watch in the coming days.
All right, a little bit of a rainy weekend. Angie, thank you.
The umbrella has been getting plenty of practice this week. All right, after an offseason full of potential Super Bowl hopes, the New York Jets are now facing the possibility of a season without their new star quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Just 4 plays, 4 snaps into his first game for the Jets last night. Rodgers suffered an apparent leg injury, and this morning there are fears it could be season-ending. Overnight, the team's head coach said it looks like the 4-time MVP may have severely injured his Achilles, which could not only threaten the 39-year-old's season, but also the remainder of his career. Despite the injury, the Jets did manage to pull off an overtime win against the Buffalo Bills last night when undrafted rookie Xavier Gibson returned a punt 65 yards for a touchdown. You can feel the pain in New York this morning after that happened.
Yeah, that was an expensive
call,
we'll
get more news later today.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.